Yo, try this. Okay. Yes. Okay. Round two.
모르겠어.
오호! 정답.
까비. 아, 너무 아파. 아이, 뭐야? 까비. 까비. 아, 너무 아파. 아이! 아이, 뭐야?
10:05, and the next program, made in Britain, follows at 11:15. Until then, BBC One is closing down.
예쁜 누나다.
예쁜 누나.
Yo, try this.
장대.
대머리.
have some butter water?
킥입니다.
우와 진짜 어려워.
This world trying to... Why do you think the Dutchman asked us to wait in our bunk room? Where is anything? See you. I know who you are. I can see you. I know who you are. Expect them to love. Don't you understand? Cole, you expect them to love us. It's only a matter of time. Understand soon enough. It's not the carnival.
My name is SpongeBob SquarePants. Sorry, I'm a little. Sorry, I'm a little. My name is
Coral. Sand. No, miss. This is advanced darkness. Close my eyes, it doesn't seem so dark. Who's there?
I can have fun taking a bath.
You'll just have to wait. Here, why don't you take this quarter? Ruin the surprise. Quarter and buy some cotton.
SpongeBob, may I ask myself a question to you? I always wonder myself, how far did we go through? Throughout the times as a cartoon individual.
Ooh. Now, take that quarter and buy some cotton candy.
SpongeBob? SpongeBob, you're scaring me! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! SpongeBob, careful! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! How could you do this? Huh? Oh my gosh! SpongeBob! SpongeBob!
At the quarter. Ooh. Now, take that quarter and buy some cotton candy.
SpongeBob? SpongeBob, you're scaring me!
Now, take that quarter and buy some cotton candy.
Careful, SpongeBob! SpongeBob, careful! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! How could you do this? Huh? Oh my gosh! SpongeBob! SpongeBob! SpongeBob!
Sandy, SpongeBob here.
I got a visual on the carnival. You want me to bring her in?
Oh, no, 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 Miss Squirrel's trying to...
This is it.
Ow! This is my carnival!
Interesting. So it's obviously an Otis 2000 or been modernised. Yep.
Going up. Door.
Or something that's been modernised. What a fucking... Oh, that's dark.
Going.
Original logic.
Going.
Even the carpet looks like it's been...
Wharf has a very large shopping complex. This is a tour of all of the lifts in the shopping centres. The tour starts walking over the bridge away from the Museum of Docklands. Here is a map. The person on the map shows where I am filming. Here is the first lift. Here are some fast lifts to the underground car park. Walking through this door takes you to a passage that takes you to a lift that goes down to a service area in the 4th basement. Here is the spooky service area. At the end of the passage is another lift that goes to the same floors as this one. Also, the goods lift on the left doesn't go to the same floors. Instead, it goes straight to Tesco's on the 1st floor. Here is the lift at the other end of the passage. This door leads to the lift to the 4th basement, and this door leads to the other lift, but it is not advertised. From now on, most of the rest of the shopping centres are underground, on basement. The next lift is on the other side of the DLR. It is similar to the last lift, but it only goes as far as basement 2. Next centre goes underneath 1 Canada Square, which is the main tower at Canary Wharf. This lift is one side of 1 Canada Square. This lift is the other side of 1 Canada Square. Carrying on down the shopping centre, here are some lifts to another underground car park. Now I'm going to go round Waitrose and over some bridges. The lift for the other side of the bridge. This shopping centre, there's a lift that takes you from street level to the shopping centre. It also goes down further, but the button doesn't work. Now back across a different bridge to the main shopping centre. Now down the other side of the bridge. These bridge lifts, often the lights don't work and it gets very dark. This lift takes you to the Jubilee line. There's also another lift that takes you to the Jubilee line, but it takes you to a different part, the main ticket office. And from there's another lift that takes you up to a different shopping centre. Here is the Jubilee line ticket office. This lift takes you up to the main entrance to the Jubilee line, and this lift takes you down to the trains. Now on to the shopping centre, up to the other shopping centre. Car park. They both start at the underground car park and go up to the shopping centre level, but only one of them continues on to street level. The end of the shopping centre. This doesn't go far, this goes up to a mezzanine. Goes upwards to... Next is a lift that goes to the underground car parks. It also goes upwards to a mystery service area, but you can't get up there. Next is the lift that goes up to a tower and up to an art gallery, but is closed. Parks to the shopping centre, then up to street level where there's a bridge and a lift up to it. This lift goes less than a metre. This is the shortest proper lift I've ever been in. Movie. Station. Go up to the far end. The lift there goes up to Docklands Light Railway, Heron Keys Station. When I went to Paris, this was the hotel I stayed in, Novotel at the east of Paris, and here the 5 lifts I've just been in, and next to them is another 2 lifts on the 15th floor. One of the doors had been left open. Here are the scenic lifts. These lifts go from the ground floor to the first floor to the second floor, which is car park, and if you have a key you can go into a tunnel to the third floor, which is a service area. And recently I found out lifts go even further than that. They go to the 4th floor, which is a plant room. Lifts. These lifts go to the 4th floor, but this time you don't need a key. Next is the Ace lift in New Look. Next is the red lifts. These go to car park. There's also a Schindler lift that currently does not, by Foster and Cross. Starts on the 1st floor in Wilkinson's, then goes to the 2nd floor, then the 4th floor. The numbers on the buttons are wrong.
Doors closing.
The lift used to go to the bus station, but it doesn't anymore. 1 to level 2. Level 1 to level 2. Next into Blue Zone and in These lifts go from level 1 to level 3. Level 1 to level 4. Lifts. Level 1 to level 5. Same as the main lift today. This lift goes from level 1 to level 4. This lift goes from level 2 to level 4. Then up to level 5, but you need a key because it's the back entrance to a ward. Then up to helicopter pad level, that also needs a key. Tesco's in Chatham. On the ground floor, the lifts used to open both sides, but now one of the sides has been blocked off. Only one of the lifts works. Each side on the ground floor is counted as a separate floor. Tesco's side is called store level and the blocked off side is called market level, meaning that both sides can't open at the same time. The lift thinks that market side is a minute distance higher than store level. I don't know if this is the case or just the way the lift's been programmed. Here are the buttons. A lift goes from store and market level to restaurant level, which requires a key, then to car parks 1 to 4, then to car parks 5 and 6 that require a key. Here then to upper mount to the Waterstones lift. This is an Otis lift that goes from lower mall to a mezzanine floor, then to upper mall, then to car parks 1 and 2. On the upper mall, this lift opens the doors both sides. Round through the lift works is quite. Now to the lifts in the centre. These are Schindler lifts. The way these lifts works is quite strange. The cable is attached to the top of the lift shaft, then goes down, round through the lift, then back up to a motor. So a motor has to work double the speed of what the lift in the rest of the shopping. Lower mall, then lower lift. This is also a Schindler lift. This lift goes from a floor lower than the lower mall, then lower mall, upper mall and car parks 1 and 2. In the rest of the shopping centre, I'm now going to go over the bridge park. Here are the Keithley lifts in the reception. You have to give reception, go to the squash courts and walk along past all the squash courts, then there'll be another Keithley. Unless you get in the lift very have any beam sensors to detect if another Keithley lift. In this lift the doors only open for a very short time and they don't have any beam sensors to detect if there's someone in the way, and the doors are likely to close on you unless you get in the lift very fast. When the doors do close, they close at a really fast speed, but some bars come out to detect if there's anyone in the way. Lifts made by a company called Pawn and Dunwoody into Marks and Spencer's, which has parks 1 and 2. From lower mall to upper mall, then to an extra floor called Car Park Collection, and then to car parks 1 and 2. Now to the middle lifts. These lifts were only built recently and go from lower mall to upper mall to car parks 1 and 2. Button, and when you'd press the button, go straight to that floor, not stopping. Where is a door that says past the escalators to boots, and right at the very far end of the car park. Where is a door that says no access to shops. I went through this door and there was a lift. The lift didn't work. So I took the stairs, which looked really spooky, and I went down the stairs past car park 3, past car park 2, past car park 1, then to upper mall, which is double the distance. There was no access to shops, so what would I find when I get to upper mall? I walked down the stairs to upper mall, and when I got there, there was a spooky fire exit door, plus the lift was there, this time with the doors open, just sitting there. I went in the lift and none of the buttons worked, the lift wasn't working. As I said, I had walked down to Upper Mall and the stairs didn't go any further, and the lift had a button to Lower Mall in it. I wonder what would be on Lower Mall, something more spooky I'd suspect, but since the lift didn't work, I didn't get to find out. Visit my web. This is a tour of the lifts at the Hampstead Valley Shopping Centre. Here are the car park lifts. These lifts are made by Pawn & Dun Woody. These lifts go from car park level 1 to car park level 5.
Floor 2.
Here's the boring, slow door.
Closing. Doors closing. Doors closing.
Just a brick. Just a brick. Just a brick wall. Two goods lifts. When I looked through the door into the lift shaft to start, which I used to take trolleys between goods lifts, which I used to thin goods lifts, very long, very thin goods lifts, which I used to here is a it is an eco disc.
First floor. Mind the lift.
Sports.
Doors.
1. Here is the first lift. This is the only lift to go higher than floor 1. It goes to roof level where there's a spooky door. Here is a photography. Here is a tour of the lifts at King's College Hospital. There are a lot of I'm going along a corridor, then turn off into the new Jubilee part of the hospital. And there's another lift. It's the same side. Now coming off the atrium lift. It's the same as the other lifts, but it goes a lot slower and it's really grotty inside. It's the same as the lifts in the atrium, apart from the fact it goes up the lift to take people in beds from floor 2 up to ultrasound. When you go to floor 2 in the last lift, that's where ultrasound is. Ultrasound's up some stairs from floor 2, so there's a disabled platform lift to take people in beds from floor 2 up to ultrasound. This platform lift is made by Botanica Lift. Now going back to the ground floor. Now going back to the exit is, and there's a lift there that takes people to the clinic. Slower than the ones in the clinic is. Now going back along to the main corridor, then go along the main corridor to where the passage turns off to operations. Go along there to an old slow lift. along to where there's 4 lifts. These lifts are quite old and off one side is a and now continuing up the corridor, and off one side is a lift that used to be a really replaced with a bog standard one.
Doors.
And now to the next lift. This lift was a gated lift. The lift went from floor 1 to floor 4. So as I wasn't thinking lift, here is a bit of movie I took a year ago. Popular lift, and it doesn't work properly and keeps breaking down. Mezzanine, which is floor 2, so floor 4 outside the lift get next lift, which is staff only, and
Doors closing.
now coming out a staff only area and going to the tower. The tower has a set of 2 lifts and a set of 3 lifts. These lifts are made by now coming in on the entrance from the high street on the upper mall and going along to the middle of the shopping centre where there is some glass open. Go from car parks to lower mall to upper mall to food court. These lifts go from car parks to lower mall John Lewis to upper mall John Lewis to levels 1 and 2 John Lewis. Spencer's. These lifts cargo lifts which are used Marks and Spencer's. And Spencer's. These lifts go from car parks to lower and upper mall Marks and Spencer's. Cargo lifts which are used for passengers, not cargo. These lifts go from car parks to lower mall only. Goes from lower mall down to an alternative exit. This lift is an Otis Hydro outside car parks and into the odd floor lifts. This lift is an Otis lift. Lifts make an additional stop at floor 7 for the main shopping centre. Here is a tour of Gillingham. All of the lifts here are Otis Gen building in Gillingham. All of the lifts here are Otis Gen 2s. Here are the first lifts. These are a small lift and a big lift. The small one goes faster than the big one. Next lift. Many tube. Here is a tour of the lifts at a Wharfside shopping centre in Penzance. Here is the first lift, which is an Otis 2000 high. You can get to the goods lifts. The main lift. Centre. All of the lifts are Otis 2000s. All of the lifts are Otis 2000. Lifts which go from the ground floor to the second floor.
Second floor.
And now to the glass lifts which go from the basement all the way up to the third floor.
Going up.
Floor down to a different base. From the
Close.
In this shopping centre, all of the different lifts call the floors different names, so it can be a bit confusing. The different floors are lower mount, which is this very small, then there's middle mount, which is the main level, and upper mount. Now to the first lift, which is an old Otis lift, but the buttons have been changed to boring buttons. Level 2. Stone. Now into the first lift in Zara. It's not locked off.
Mind.
This lift uses it's level 3. Gentle floor level 4 calls it. Also a tour of the tower to the first lifts which go from floors ground to 5. And now to the next lift. And around the corner from that lift there is another lift. Jackson lifts. Long and Jackson lifts. Lifts. Now to the Jackson bed lifts. Tower. These are some nice Schindler lifts. These lifts go all floors from basement to floor 18, but don't stop at floor 6. These are some really nice Schindler lifts that go really fast. These lifts go from the ground floor, next stops 2, then go fast all the way to 17, then all floors to 30. Floor 30 was blocked off. To where this lift, which is a really old Platt Schindler lift. This lift goes to all floors, even the floors the other lifts didn't go to. This lift's really grotty, it looks like it will break down any moment. Like it will break down any moment. All floors from basement to floor 18, but doesn't stop at floor 6. In the other lifts. And that's the tour for lifts at Guy's Hospital. Now, here is the tour of the tower, starting at the basement and going up all the floors. Here's the basement, which has service passages all over the hospital. All of the lifts come down to this floor, apart from the fast lifts to the top, which start at the ground floor. Now, onto the ground floor. This is the main floor, so obviously all the lifts stop here. Then the first floor, all lifts stop here, apart from the fast ones to the top. Now to second floor, which is another main floor. On this floor all of the lifts stop. Then the third floor all lifts stop apart from the fast ones to the top, and the same for the fourth floor and the fifth floor. Now on to the sixth floor. Remember, this is the floor where none of the lifts stop apart from the service lifts. So I wonder what's here. It appears to be a service floor. And there's a locked door. I wonder what's beyond this locked door. Anyway, where's the service lift? Wait a minute, the service lift's beyond the locked door. So if I use the service lift, I'd get to see what's beyond it. Now, carrying on up the tower to the 7th floor. Once again, all the lifts stop here apart from the fast ones to the top. Same for the 8th floor, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16th floors. On the 17th floor, all of the lifts stop. And on the 18th floor, once again, all of the lifts stop. And the 18th floor is the last floor for the halfway up the tower lifts and the bed lift. Now, on to the 19th floor. This is another service floor as the fast lifts to the top don't stop here. It's strange having two 19th floors called 19th. There doesn't appear to be much apart from the service lift. Then on to the next floor. Wait a minute, it's another floor called 19th. There's two 19th service floors. This is the 20th floor where the fast lifts to the top stop here and the service lift stops here. And the same for 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 and 30 is the top floor service lifts. This is 31 here. Then coming up from 32 is the grid door, which would lead to floor 33, which is the roof. And now into the service lift to see what's behind that locked door on floor 6. Which are the car park lifts, which are some nice Schindlers. In Clark's. Here is an update of what is happening at Guy's Hospital. This follows on from a previous video, tour of the lifts at Guy's Hospital, which you need to watch first. In the main tower, there are Schindler lifts to floor 18 and others to floor 30, plus a Platt Schindler lift to floor 18 and another to all floors. The Schindler lifts to floors 18 and 30 are being replaced with horrible Jackson lifts. The first lift has now been replaced. Here is one that goes from basement to floor 18, but it isn't one floors and goes to floor 28. Park Hospital. In this hospital are loads of really nice old Otis lifts. Park Hospital. Here is a tour of the lifts at Northwick Park Hospital. In this hospital are loads of really nice old Otis lifts, and as well as that there's also a paternoster. And now to the first lifts, which are some nice old Otis lifts. And now to the first lift, which is a generic Nova hydraulic. On the way up the lift was really wobbly, and on the way down the lift overshot the floor and had to re-level. Nova hydraulic. Nova hydraulic. Nova hydraulic. And now to the next lift. This is another generic Nova hydraulic. -3 and don't stop at -1 and -2 because that's where Waitrose is.
Door closing.
Half floors.
Rolling down. This lift is going down.
Large shopping centre. This shop is background says it's lift.
Door closing. Door closing. Door closing. This lift is going down. Floor.
And goes, which is an automatic lift. This means the lift senses you getting in, then it closes its doors and goes, and you don't have to press any. And now to the lift in out of a standard lift in
Going down. Clear to verification.
Now to another no one else was using in the lift so it didn't move. The lift thought else no one in the lift so it didn't move. The lift thought else no one in the lift so it didn't move. Automatic lift button level as now, and so that means this lift has to stop at ground 1 and now to the lifts in John Lewis locked off.
Awaiting at the lower bound. Please awaiting at the lower bound. Please clear. The door.
Centre in Ashford. And now to the first lift, which is a lift to offices.
Doors closing. Closing.
These lifts only go half a metre a second, which is slow for an eco disc. I think it'd make a video of its own right, so I added it onto the end of this video. So going back out to the high street and going into the ex-Woolworths 99p stores, and in there I've got an old Evans dumb waiter. And unlike other Evans lifts and dumb waiters, this one isn't orange, it's black. Here is a tour for lifts at the new shopping centre in Folkestone. And now to the first lifts, which are some Otis Gen 2. To some more Otis Gen. To some more Otis Gen 2 lifts. To some more Otis Gen. To some more Otis name. To some more Otis Gen. Hotel in Folkestone. These lifts go as far as floor 6, and this lift goes as far as floor 7. Into the lifts that go as far as floor 6.
Only. For lower floors, please use one of the other lifts.
And now to the first lifts, which are some Otis lifts. Now to the best lift in the whole building, the really old Otis lift. And now to the best lift in the whole building, the really old Otis. Shopping centre and shopping centre and shopping centre, and now to the first lifts.
Mobility.
Sensors. The lifts at Ashford Station. Now to the next lift. Sensitive button. These are the first Otis lifts I've ever been in with touch sensitive buttons. These are the first Otis lifts I've ever been in with touch sensitive buttons. Now, it took me several goes at opening and shutting the door to get the lift to move. Here is a tour of the lifts at Gatwick Airport North Terminal. And now to the first lifts. The transit station at the North Terminal has been refurbished. When before you could only exit into the terminal itself, now you can exit out the back of the transit station to a concourse area. Here are the new lifts, which are eco discs. And now into the North Terminal building and to the main lifts, which are eco discs. Lifts.
Gatwick Airport. GatwickAirport.com.
Here in from the train station, and here are the boring to show the car park lift into the main terminal building. But before I show the main lifts, I'm floor 8. This used to be overflow check-in area, which isn't much used. The Jubilee line is really nice and really modern, apart from the lifts, which are slow, crap, hydraulic, take ages to come, the doors take ages to close and have a really annoying beep. Here is a tour of the lifts at Westminster Station. To get down to the Jubilee line platforms, you have to go in 3 lifts. Ticket office. Of the lifts down to the circle line.
and circle along.
The circle line down. Line. This lift doesn't even go to the ticket office. Really annoying if you're disabled. This lift is too slow for the distance it travels. On the way, this lift goes past loads of strange floors.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that?
In Welland Garden City, and now to the first lift, which is an old staff only lift, which is another old express. This lift I got caught filming.
Doors closing.
Marks and Spencer's. Marks and Spencer. Here is a tour of the lifts at Doncaster Shopping Centre, and now to the first lifts. Now to some generic no signs it is actually, and now here to the car park.
Mind the doors closing. Wonderful old lift. before. For hospital. Opening. But for original. Roundabout far. But what happened was the outer door had slipped open slightly when the lift had stopped in the basement and was refusing to start. It was pitch black outside of the lift. It was quite scary, but what happened was the outer door had slipped open slightly when it unlocked and was refusing to lock again. So all I had to do was pull on the outer door and then the lift started going. Of strange levels. Levels 1, 2 and 3 are car park. Level 3 is also shopping. Level 4 is unknown. Level 5 is shopping. Level 6 is unknown. Level 7 is shopping. And all of the levels higher than level 7 are BBC studios. First lift, which is an Otis, and it only lets you go between floors 1, 3 and 7.
Doors closing.
And now to the next lifts, which go between floors 1, 2, 3, 5 and 7.
Doors.
And now to the next lift. Here Birmingham is really confusing and it's really easy to lose your sense of direction, especially around a New Street train station area. And now, coming from the High Street and going into one of the two shopping centre entrances. This shopping centre has 3 main levels. Level 1 is the only level where you can walk the whole length of the shopping centre. Level 2 is cut in half by a road. And level 3 is where I'm coming in from the High Street. There's no level 4 in the main part of the shopping centre, but some of the shops have a level 4. And now to the first lifts. These lifts used to have glass doors, but the glass has been covered over with advertising.
Going down.
Stones. And now to some Otis lifts and John Lewis.
Fifth floor. Doors opening. Lift going.
Replaced. And now to some Otis lifts and John Lewis. Lift from the travel. This lift between and now to the modernised lift in-house. Replaced it. Keithley lifts. Keithley lifts. Eric. With a boring generic. With a boring generic. And now to the lifts in
Doors closing. Doors opening.
and now lift actually
Mind the
in Debenhams, which is this lift is nice and this lift has both Keithley and Schindler parts. The doors are Schindler and close nice and fast as soon as you press the button, and it's got a Schindler motor, but the lift's fixtures are Keithley. You go round a lake from the main lakeside shopping centre. Was in Habitat.
lift going up. Lift going up. Lift going up. Lift going up.
Lift going up.
In curries to the stanner. When the lift is furniture shops. On the right hand side of the shopping centre, which is pack lift.
Lift going up.
Then go to an extra level, level 2. And now into the middle of the shopping centre and into the lifts. These lifts go up beyond level 1 to an extra level, level 2. Then go beyond this to the casino. This means people with not much money can have an ordinary day out shopping in Westfields, then go to the casino and waste all of their money in just one night. Isn't that a good idea?